Today's a bit of a lucky day, really, because I'm going to make myself pancakes, but it's not a cheat day. This is all going to count. This is all above board. And I'll explain how to track the calories for this sort of stuff, and therefore by extension also the protein and the fat or whatever you want to count, because baking it's not as simple as 200 grams of peas that just plug it in, because this all counts as extra, because who on earth is going to waste a row of their spreadsheet or whatever with flour and butter and sugar? It just doesn't happen. Yeah, I'm just going to use one egg because I don't want to make too much. But yeah, so I guess I'll get to it. First thing you'll want is a measuring scale, and of course whatever you're using to measure the stuff. So I'm going to use a cup system because it works for pancakes. Not much else, but it works for pancakes. Obviously, because I'm using one egg instead of three, I'm going to split everything in a third. Probably give the sweeter things a little bit more, like sugar. But yeah, so generally you'll want a cup of flour. So we're going to have a third of a cup. So now but I've zeroed it on the measuring cup, so I can. So it's just measuring the flour. Get that? God, it's being a dickhead. Come on. Okay, so that's just under a third of a cup. A tip is so eggs are the one thing that you can't really change how much you put in, because you can't really put in another egg without requiring a fuckload more of milk and flour. So a tip is to go low on the flour, little bit low on the milk as well. Well, a little bit low on the flour, a little bit low on the milk, but then have the eggs as a baseline. And then, yeah, if it's, if there's too much flour, just add a little bit of milk, that sort of thing. If there's too, just see how it goes. But this should be fine. Let's weigh it. So that's 56 grams. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to write down all of the weights that I've got. So that's 56 grams. And quite literally, all of these things, and there's a complicated one which is Nutella, but they've all got the nutrition written on the pack. So that makes our life not incredibly easy. It makes it easier. It makes it easier to track these things. Now we want a teaspoon of sugar, which will be a third of a teaspoon, but I have a sweet tooth, so I'm going to, first of all, God, it's getting hot. Turn this off a little bit. Just wanted to preheat it. Yeah. Cheeky little. Yeah, I reckon that's. No, I want more. There we are. About this much, which is a lot, but. Wow, I say it's a lot. It's 5 grams, which is 20 calories. Wow, big fucking deal. Yeah, that's in there. Oh. And now I know that I won't be putting in more sugar, so I'll just put this away. There we are. So that's 5 grams. Teas. Okay, can you behave, please? Acid. Milk, 2/3 of a cup. So now I'll add this in. Yeah. Wait, where's the, yeah, 1/3, 2/3. Just a tiny little bit under what you want. And then add that in, which is 189 grams. So add that in there. This here. Then of course we've got 1 egg, which is 1 egg. You can't really mess that up. Get that out. Wonderful. And then finally we have some butter. Well, you don't need the butter, but it makes it taste better and sticks less to the pan, because you don't want to rely on just the oil that you've put in there. So I like using butter. I recommend you do. You're making pancakes anyway. Don't expect this to be a low calorie sort of endeavor. Oh yeah. I think we want like, oh for fuck's sake. Oh gosh. Can't believe I've done this. Put that to 3 already. Yeah, like, oh, right, no, okay. Let's cut a little bit off. See how it fits. We want about 2/3 of a tablespoon. I'd say. Cut this off. Nah, this will be fine. Just, yeah. There we go. Now we don't need this anymore. But now we want to microwave the butter. This is going to be a pain in the ass because it'll probably like spot heat it or some shit. So you really pay attention to the microwaving because you will. Don't burn the butter, don't boil the butter. You won't notice anything until. Fuck my ass, bro. Yeah, there, suddenly, I don't know if you heard that. Did it explode? I don't think so. Suddenly, just out of nowhere, it started boiling. Literally, about 1 second, it went from not boiling to boiling, which, yeah, pretty tricky to deal with. And then you can also add other things to taste, like cinnamon, more sugar, vanilla extract. Right, I don't want to fuck this up. Pour out a little shot. A few drops. That's that done. So that's all the flavouring we'll be adding. And now this can actually, maybe we need more milk. Fuck. Shit, we didn't measure out how much that weighed. I can Google. That's the other thing. Google is your friend. Calories. Oh no, one tablespoon butter nutrition. Actually no, how much does it weigh? 1 tablespoon is 14.2 grams, perfect, so we'll just call it 14 grams, because I didn't really do a full tablespoon, but yeah, no one's gonna miss the point too. Perfect. So that's that all out there. Oh yeah. There we go. You don't want any lumps. You also want to make sure that all of the stuff on the sides is in there. Yeah, we've got a few lumps. Bullshit. Absolute bullshit. There we go. Perfect. And this should have been turned on. Don't piss me off. Yeah, we want medium heat approximately. Nothing too much, but nothing too low either. It's not like they don't have much depth, so it doesn't matter how low you really. You want to avoid burning them, really. That's it. So just go as high as you want without burning them, but because they're really thin, pancakes that is, you won't be at risk of, for example, with eggs, if you cook them at a really low temperature, it'll just get really fucky and weird because the top doesn't cook but the bottom gets burnt because it's hot metal. And yeah, there we are. Put you over here. Now we can use this. Oh, that's so ew. Right, put the oil on there. What I'd recommend is get like a paper towel or something, and once the oil is melted like that, you'll just want to rub it across the pan like that. You just want a vague little film of oil there. You don't want anything more than that, because otherwise what will happen is the oil in the little globs of oil, they're basically going to create shapes within the pancake, because the pancake won't mix with the oil, because this is mainly water and that is mainly oil, and the yolk can only emulsify so much of that butter with the water from the milk. So yeah, just don't have too much oil in the pan and you'll be fine. Now I'm going to put you away. Good. And then we'll just set them all up there. Oh yeah. Gaming time. Put it nice in the middle. Spread it out a little bit. Boys. Okay, so upon inspection, maybe add a tiny bit more flour for this one, if anything. I'm going to drop a tiny bit where it's still thin. That's kind of fringe. Because I'm an idiot and the pan's a bit dented, so it's uneven. Nice one. Just fix that. There we go. Yeah, so fire's probably a tiny bit low. Generally would like to see it cooking better than that. Right. There we are. So yeah, there we are. The sides should be able to peel off pretty easily. You don't want there to be anything moving before you flip it, because it'll just be a mess. And if you try to lift it up and it doesn't have a solid enough edge, you'll just crimp the whole pancake, and that's terrible. So there we go. Yeah, it seems to be pretty thick at one end, but that's fine. Oh no! Yeah, definitely more flour. Definitely a little bit more flour. But that's okay. I'll take a pinch of this. 2 pinches tops. And that's that sorted. So we've not done too much. Maybe if you're doing more, you want to add a bit more. But this should salvage it for now. Perfect. Ooh, yeah. Tiny bit more flour. And we're golden. Let's just mix this in. It's kind of hard to mix with a spoon. Yeah, this exists for a reason. Just a tiny little bit more. Don't want to give it more than like a tiny, tiny, tiny bit. Little, that's enough. So that's maybe 3 pinches more, because it was a tiny bit not perfect, but nice. You can piss off. And that's perfect. Right, looky here. That's the underside. Oop, don't want it to slide off there. And then this is the other side. So this was I think the first side we did. Either way, I want it. This. You behave. Open. Open. Bastard. Whoop. We'll put them down here. Misbehaving. Then the oil rag, or whatever you used, just go over it again. You can put more on it. Do it every few pancakes. You have to do it every one. I just want to make sure that this is all perfect. Like that. No. Oh no, it's going to be a bit crippled. No, come on. You want to swish it about a little bit. Not too much though. Yeah, swish it about a tiny bit so that it doesn't become not a circle, basically. But yeah, that's that. Yeah, perfect. So this is cooking a lot quicker. Actually, you should probably. Can we put this somewhere here so you can see exactly what's going on? Is that possible? Can I do that? Can I do that? Did I put in the salt? I don't think I put in the salt. Oh, I'm so stupid. Doesn't matter. That won't work. Supposed to put in salt. Like a pinch of it, but it's too late. Doesn't matter. They're still great. Except for the weird fucky part. Yeah, maybe still need a tiny little bit more flour. Doubt it there. Yeah, because the thing is that the edges are so... The edges are really thin, and the centre is a lot thicker. That's because it's not viscous enough, so it spreads all over before it can. Actually, yeah, since I'm going to put in a little bit more, we want like a pinch. So we're going to put in a tiny bit more flour so that it doesn't. Yeah. But yeah, too much flour is a lot worse than too little flour. Too little flour and your pancake is just going to be thinner and maybe a tiny bit, yeah, not really tastier, but just taste more of like rich egg and milk, which is a great taste. Like it's more like an omelette, if anything, but only a tiny bit. But too much flour is really what you want to look out for, because if you have too much flour, it'll become, it becomes dry in taste, and the skin can kind of crack a bit, and it just becomes floury, and yeah, it's not fun. Perfect. Yeah, so this one's done. Put that there. Where the hell have I put the oil on this thing? I think somewhere there. Yeah. There we go. Perfect. Yeah. Pan is everything. This isn't exactly a good pan for it because... Okay, yeah. So this is how you can tell that you've got too little oil, is if there are bubbles that are forming in the pancake, it's because the air can't, well, it's not air, it's steam. It can't lift up the pancake. The pancake's stuck to the pan, so it just creates a bubble instead of escaping out the side. So that's how you know you have to add more oil to the pan. Not too much, of course, but just enough to not make that happen, because bubbles in the pancake are very cringe, and we don't want that. So, right, let me actually just bunch this up into a ball, because I can't be asked to deal with finding out which part I've put the oil on. So we're just going to grab a bunch of the oil, put it on there, happy days. Ugh. Don't tell me I got oil on the knife. Yeah, I did. God, I'm stupid. Oh, shit. Gonna have to not touch the lid with that, because that's gonna... pain in the ass. Okay, there we go. Perfect. Maybe a little bit crispy on the edges. Yeah. Right, so if the pan gets too hot, you can tell by if it looks a bit more brown than it should. It's not burnt. I haven't burnt it. I'm not an idiot. But if it looks a bit too brown, then turn it down a bit. It's not instantaneous. It takes a while to get to the lower temperature, and then it'll take a while to get back up. So you can just switch between temperatures. This is shit because it's digital and it's not a dial. With a dial, it's definitely a lot easier to not be on a thing, but if there aren't intervals, that is. But yeah, shit. Ooh, there we go. Yeah, just needs about 10 more seconds, and then that one's done, and then we'll oil up the thing. So yeah, the bubbles creating are a combination of the pan being too hot and there not being enough oil. It being too hot is not so much of a factor, although it kind of is, because it just means that it fuses the pancake to the pan too quickly, which is obviously made 1,000 times worse because there's no oil. But yeah, there we go. There. Now we're going to add. Yeah. So now there are tiny little droplets of oil on the pan. And is that a fucking piece of fluff? Am I retarded? Did I get fluff in my pancake? Shit. Come here, you little shit. Is that a spider? What the fuck is that? It's a fucking fly kamikazed into the... What a bitch. Put it nice in the middle. Kick it around. You don't want it too much on one side. Too much here. When it starts getting solid, you don't want to move it around too much, because what will happen here, see, is it'll form a little sag because it's not fully free flowing. So don't do that too much. Yeah, messed that one a little bit showing you, but that should be fine. Should be fine. Fucking love pancakes. They're beautiful. Best thing ever. Right, we won't be needing any butter. Oh yeah, if you're cringe and you like savoury stuff on the pancake, then you can do that. But honestly, Nutella, ice cream, maple syrup. I don't like maple syrup too much because it's not chocolate, and I just love chocolate. So, but if that's your thing, do that. If you're gonna put shit like ham and salmon on it, just make scrambled eggs. Like, don't bother, because yeah, pancakes are supposed to be sweet. Yeah, so now it's perfect. Now it's perfect again. The heat's back down. Well, it was a bit too low, but then it was too high, so you know how that works. So now, yeah, this is perfect. For the first side, that is. I find the second side always looks better. Yeah, that just looks good. A little more. Oh shit. There we are. Oi, behave. Once over, and then the process repeats. Sort of want to shake it, because obviously this problem won't happen if you have a good pan that's not got a fucking bonked hole in it. Well, it's not a hole, it's a dent. Also, the sides on this pan are very steep. You'll generally, for pancakes, you'll want a specifically pancake pan, really. One that's either, well, yeah, just really non-stick, shallow edges, 8 inches across, maybe a bit more. You definitely don't want to have a problem with fiddling about all that. And you want the thing to be pretty abrupt. You want the edge to be abrupt, not... This edge isn't that abrupt, so what you get is you get a bit of a lip. Yeah, there you get a bit of a lip going up on the side, because it doesn't just get stopped, which is cringe, but it's not that bad. It's not burning, because, you know, why would it? It's on the side, but it's just little thing to make note of. Right, so while we're doing all of this, I'll go into how to measure out the Nutella when you put it on. Also, you can go back here. What you'll want to do is take your measuring scale with you, and you'll put the jar of Nutella on there, turn it on, then it'll, well, take the lid off first, obviously, so just like that. Then it'll say 0, and then whenever you take out Nutella, it'll say how much it is. Make sure that your thing doesn't turn off. Also, let's turn this a little bit here. Ooh, there we go. Make sure it doesn't turn off, because then you'll lose track of how much you've eaten. I think I've burnt this a little bit. No, perfect. Perfect. Just needs a little bit more oil. If it feels sticky, but doesn't, like if it feels like the pancake is stuck too much to it, but it's not visibly too brown, then put in more oil. But when I just know that someone out there is going to be like, oh, you just put in more oil, get fucking whole tablespoons. No, I mean literally a little tiny bit, because oil is full of calories and bad for you, and you shouldn't eat that much oil. Bastard. Fuck this one. Perfect. I think we've got enough for 2 more. God, this is going to be great. And yeah, so I reckon the pancakes themselves, all things considered, 14 grams of butter, that's approximately, yeah, let's just do the maths for it, eh? 14 grams of butter is, well, 1 gram of fat is 9 calories, so 14 grams of butter will probably be 14 grams, 14 times 9, should be like, what, 150, no, I'm fucking stupid. Yeah, no, 131. Yeah, how fucking stupid could I be, Jesus. Yeah, so 131 calories there. We had, phone now. Okay, here we are. We had, there we are. Yeah, there's a tiny little bit left for another one. That's 131. Then we had 56 grams, let's just call it 50 grams to make this easy, grams of flour. Flour is 352 calories, so half of that is 175 approximately. So far we've got about 300 calories. Then we add in the milk, which is 189, that's about 52 calories per 100. So that'll be about 200, so that's 500. Total sugar, as we said, 20. So we're about 520 at the moment. Add in the Nutella. I think Nutella's, I don't know what Nutella is. How much is it? Per 100 grams, 539 calories. One serving is 15 grams, 80 calories. So if we say 100 calories per serving, if I have it on 2 or 3 pancakes, the total endeavour will be about 700 to 800 calories. That's my estimate. We'll see. But yeah, so if you don't want to track this all absolutely precisely, like in the spreadsheet that I have, just do what I did there. Look at what you've done. Look at what you've used, and just there in your head. It's not that hard, really. Will this stop? There we go. It's boiling in here. Probably because I'm wearing a hot dressing gown. But yeah, just add it up in your head. It's really not that hard. Like, you just need to know the common things, like common value. Piss. Okay. So butter. I'll check butter because it should just be pure fat. I think. I don't know. Butter is fat. Yeah. Per 100 grams, 745, so, okay, so it's 7.45 instead of 9, so it's probably about 8 times 14, which is 112. So between 112 and 130, it really, those sort of differences really don't matter in the grand scheme of things. And if you really need to vascularity, hello. If you really need to check and like police yourself for that much of a difference, don't make pancakes with sugar and Nutella. Don't fucking do that if you can't afford to have a little slip of maybe 50 calories a day. Speed, I'm speed, and success. No, oh no, oh, it's gonna look crippled, no, oh you fuck. Okay, this one's retarded. What can you do? And yeah, bubbles are starting to happen again, so would put more oil on that, but obviously that's the last one. So who gives a shit? You are full of oil. I'm gonna try to not get oil because I don't want that covered in oil, because that is really terrible and should never happen. And you can see here as well. There we are. Two. Yeah. Beautiful. Add in. There we go. Have that ready for the cleanup afterwards, because I can't be asked to do that now. Why do that now? And bubble! Bubble alert. Oh, it deflated. Bullshit. Okay. Getting a little crispy on the edges. Yeah, this is the most burnt one because I wasn't paying attention and it was less than all of them, so it was smaller, so it burned quicker. Oh, well, burnt pancake, it's not burnt. This is still 10 times better than anything else that anyone else. This is still 10 times better than anything that anyone else can do. So, whatever. You get in here. I don't want to get touched by that ickiness. Oops. And then after all of this, I'll discuss how many calories you should eat per day, because that's a big question. You get back in here. We can wash this. Boom. And yeah, that covers that really. Oh, little cripple. Fuck yeah. And then if you don't want them, just freeze them. You can freeze pancakes, dead easy. That is allowed and encouraged. Fuck's sake, I'm daft. I forgot that the bowl was made of plastic and plastic melts. So, not very smart there. You can go away. Okay. Yup. Where's my plate? Where is my plate? Must be in the other room. Yeah, that sums that up. That's how to cook pancakes, how to deal with the calories in them. Another note is, if you do want to have loads of pancakes with loads of unhealthy stuff, go for it. Do it. While it's true that you can't outrun a bad diet, you can absolutely outrun a bad meal. Especially if you only go like 300 calories over what you should be having that day, because that's just an hour of walking. So, you know. Yeah, a little bit of fun won't kill you. Yeah, here we have the pancake pile, which is, oh yes, ooh, oil on my fingers. Yeah, I'll catch you later, I guess.